Porsha, your host of Lifin podcast. And I am here today with a very special guest. It is Porsha 1.0.
Really?
It is my mother, Toni.
Yay!
Welcome to the podcast, Mom. She's been trying to get on since episode 1.
Really?
Don't let her fool y'all, okay? She's trying to be modest right now. Anywho, thank you, Mom, for being a part of this podcast episode. Today, we are talking about motherhood, okay? This is our Mother's Day episode, and we'll be talking about motherhood in the past and the present of how motherhood looks, right? Okay. So this is episode number 24, the final episode of season 1 of Lifin podcast. Woo!
Yay!
We made it. Okay. I'm super excited. Also a little saddened that this is the last one for this season, but rest assured we will be recording for the next season, and that season is going to be just as amazing as this one, okay? Before we go forward, for those who are new here and this is your first time, welcome, okay? This is Lifin podcast, which is a podcast where we talk about how life be over here, life in us, all types of relationship situations and everyday things we are experiencing, all while in real time healing and learning how to be a better human being. Okay? If you ain't doing that, what you doing here? What you doing here? But if you are, you're in the right place. Okay? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you all very much. And speaking of how life be over here, life in us all, we're gonna go on over to that segment, which is, hey y'all, it's Porsha. That's y'all my village, okay? And this is where I will have all of my listeners, friends, family submit news, topics, and other requests for me to talk about, okay? So if y'all want to hear me talk about some more things or whatever, y'all want to give me some ideas for season 2, please email me at lifebelifin@anchorednllc, or you can DM me on any of my social media platforms. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, okay? Find me at Life Be Lifin'. Come and join me. And please let me know if you just want to vent or whatever. Please come to me, and I am here for you. Okay? And also, because life be over here, life in us all, I also got some tools for y'all to offer to you all. It's my planner and my journal. Okay? So please go check out my planner and my journal on my Amazon account. Okay? I have the planner that you can still fill in. I know it's May, y'all. But if you just now want to get your life organized and get it together, you can start anytime you want to. So you can start today. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. It's many wonderful nuggets throughout the planner and also the journal, okay? A whole bunch of speak life affirmations. It's a lot of journal prompts, okay? We have journal prompts throughout as well if you wanted to just notate what about this week, what it looked like, what made you smile this week, what you did to make you feel good this week, whatever. It's a lot of that in there as well. So please, please, please get the planner. Also get the companion piece, which is the beautiful journal, which also has speak life affirmations throughout it. But write your little heart away. Write about all your different things that you feel and experience and all the stuff. I'm telling you, it is wonderful. It will bless you, and you should utilize it, okay? And support Life Be Lifin' podcast, all right? So please check it out. Thank you all again for your love and support. Now, let's jump into this episode topic, okay? All right, Mom. We're talking about past and present dynamics of motherhood, okay?
Okay.
Lord Jesus.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got off on camera.
She's on camera. She's a little camera shy,
Yeah.
but not really. I'm going to ask you some questions. So I got some questions, y'all, in the regular old traditional way. We're going to just ask Mom the questions, and she's going to answer them, okay? So, first things first, Mom. How did you feel about having kids before you actually had kids? Like, what was your envision? Did you ever think you would have kids? Did you desire to have kids? Like, what? How did you feel about it?
I desired to have kids, but I didn't think I would have them that soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what did it look like for you to have kids?
Before I had them?
Yeah, before you had them.
At that, it wasn't a very good look, but my mom taught me how to be a mother. My mom taught me how to be a mother. I knew nothing about being a mother at all.
Okay.
So I had to learn as my mom taught me. I had to learn as I went, and it was something new for me, and I still didn't get it all the way right, but I did the best I could, but yeah.
Okay, so that kind of answered my next question, which was, once you had them, because the other question was, how did you view it before you had them?
Once I had them.
And now, how was it once you had them? Did your viewpoint change about what it would look like with you having children?
No, because like you always talk about your village, I really had a village.
Mm-hmm.
So I had so much help with not just my mom and my sister, but it was like family, neighbors and stuff helped me with being a mother and coming up. I was young. I was pregnant at 19, and I was pregnant at 19, had parents at 20. So yeah, it was something new for me, and I had a village, really a village. So I understand when you say the village, that's what we try to be.
Yeah,
is the village, because I had a good one.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't have that these days.
No, they do not. They do not.
So, yeah.
Grateful for the village.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So next question: what was your view on the type of mother that you would be? I know you already said that you really didn't know how to be a mother, so I guess you didn't have a real dream or vision of how you would be as a mother.
Right. So you're asking me was my vision?
What was your view of the type of mother that you would be? Would you be like an authoritative mother, like it's my way, that's it, or like
I was that mother. I didn't know that I was going to be that way, but I was. I was very strict, very hard, and my mom was not strict and hard on me at all, but I was strict. I was hard on you guys. I literally used to have friends tell me that your kids are afraid of you, and I thought that was cute at the time, but now I'm like, that was so horrible. Why would I want my kids to be afraid of me? But yeah, but I didn't know that I would be that type of mother. That was the type of mother I was. So
more the authoritative.
Yeah.
How was it being a single mother for you? You mentioned you already had Paris, which is my older brother. Hey, Paris.
Hi, Paris.
You had him at 19. Well, you were pregnant at 19. You had him at 20. And then I came along.
Right.
When you were 22. Right? Okay. So how was that experience of being a single mother of two? At that time, at that particular age, when we were young.
It was hard, but like I said, the village that I had made it happen. So it wasn't as hard as it could be for someone back in my day that were, had children. When I had children, they were so I was so blessed, so lucky to, have the village that I had, and they wished that they had that. They didn't. So, but yeah, I didn't know how blessed I was until y'all literally, I knew, but I'm talking about really knew until y'all got grown, like really started coming up, being teenagers and stuff. I was like, I wouldn't have been able to do this by myself. So
yeah, my
mom, she was a stay-at-home person then. She kept y'all, they helped in all type of ways. I had my freedom, and I was a street person. Like, I went out to clubs all the time, and
you still trying to live a life.
Yeah, I was going to the club Sunday through Saturday. So yeah, but and I had no questions asked. But I wasn't a bad mom. I was there for my kids. I worked night shifts, so yeah, it was just they were little, but once they got upsized, I had to go to day shift to to figure this out because I could no longer be on night shift because y'all were growing up and I had to be there.
Right, right.
So it was kind of hard, but I just look at it now that like I wouldn't have been able to do that by myself. I would have been like some of my friends that I look at now. I'm like, man, they had it rough.
Yeah, yeah.
So
you were blessed to have your mother.
Yes, very blessed
throughout that.
Because I stayed with mom most of the time. You know, even when we lived upstairs, downstairs, I was still with her. But
you had access to her.
Yeah, I had access to her, and she always was there for you guys, always. So.
Yes, shout out to my grandmother.
Shout out,
Mom. Okay, so single motherhood was okay because you had such a strong village,
right?
And I feel like I definitely, in present day, right, have a strong village. I know I've told y'all that many a times.
Right.
Like, I have my mom, I have my grandmother, my mom's mom, who was there both times in the delivery room. Like when I had both of my kids, they were at the hospital waiting for these babies to come out. And once the babies came out, they came to my home and stayed with me. Took turns. Weeks at a time. Like they were on it. When I had Leah and I had the traumatic experience of having to stay in the hospital long term after I gave birth to her, and I was sick, my mom and my grandmother, they rotated. My husband would pick them up and, okay, mama staying today, my mom staying today. Like, we will be on rotation. They was there, okay? And they're still there. And not even just them, my aunts, they were all, everybody. Like, I have such a strong village. I never have to go without. I never have to just figure it out on my own. Like, I have women in my family that are always present and willing to pick up the slack where I lack.
Right.
So my babies definitely know they can call Auntie San, Auntie Mika. They can call Mama. Great. They call my grandmother Great. They can call Great. They can call Honey, because that's her name. My kids call her Honey. They call Honey, and even if they need something long distance, they call Uncle Paris.
Right.
They can call whoever. Like, we've built up this village, so I'm grateful for that too. So that's something that you kind of pass down to me. You're there for me. My mom quit her job when we don't want to put Leah in daycare once I had to go back to work after giving birth.
Right.
And my mom quit. We convinced her to quit her job. And she would keep Leah for us so that we wouldn't have to go through the nightmare of daycares and all that type of stuff. You know, so that was a blessing. That was definitely a blessing. That village means so much. That means so much. And it helps, even if you're married, it still helps. And in your singlehood, it still helps. It helps to have that support. Did you feel like at some point you had got the hang of being a mother of two?
Oh, most definitely. I thought I had it down pat.
At what point? Were we like little kids?
Yeah, you were little kids, and people used to tell me that all the time. You take care of your kids so well, they dress so well, although you think you didn't dress well, but yeah, y'all dressed so well. I kept you guys up. I didn't let you be at people's houses, and I was always like, making sure everything was okay with mom, whether they was with mom or you were with Sam. I always made sure everything was okay before I went and did my mess. So,
That's a mess, child.
So, but yeah, I never brought the mess home.
Period.
Y'all didn't see the mess.
That's another thing. Okay. And I tell my friends that all the time, and even me and my new pathway I'm taking with my kids, I have made it clear that when I do get back out there and all that type of stuff, that I will not be allowing anybody in my children's space, because my mama did not play that, okay? Mm-hmm. There was never a time or opportunity for anybody to take advantage of us or for us to even see her be in any type of
domestic anything.
Like, there was never none of that. Now, I knew when it was time for her to have some friends over, we gotta go to bed and all of those things. And
y'all was
music would play. I knew something was happening.
But you didn't see them in the morning either. They were gone.
When we woke up in the morning,
they were gone.
There was no one.
You got to get out of here.
They will not be waking up to no stranger up in their place. They will not be, and not even a stranger, because you did introduce us to some of your boyfriends, but and they'll be like, oh, they'll take us out to eat or something, or they'll come meet us at the playground and we play tennis or something like that, or the park, and we'll play tennis or whatever. But that was the most interaction they would get. It would not be y'all get to lay around chilling in my mama's house, even with her. Like, it would never be none of that. She was very closed off to exposing us to that, and I'm thankful for that. Yeah, because it set a precedent. It did. You know what I'm saying? Even though my mother was single all of my life, it set a precedent. Like, this is how you operate as a woman, and my kids come first. Period. Right, and I'm not gonna make them uncomfortable in their home. Right. For you to get comfortable up in here. You ain't paying no bills up in here. Right. You ain't put no ring on my finger. Right. You need to teach a class to these young ones up here playing house with these fools, and they ain't contributing, don't even like your kids, don't even want to be bothered trying to drop them off. I didn't have to deal with that because I didn't bring it to that. Didn't allow that type of behavior. Right. And I shall not either, okay? Mm-hmm. Only time somebody gonna meet my kids, you gonna have to dang near propose to me. Like, we have to be for real. We gonna have to go to bed. Not bed, Lord Jesus. I meant we gonna have to go together real bad before you can be introduced to my kids and we be like, because they're still young and impressionable. Right. I don't want them to be like, oh, is this my new daddy? Ain't no replacing daddy. They already got a daddy. We don't need no daddy. We need somebody that's gonna be respectful and treat their mother with respect and love and kindness, and do the same for them. You can be a figure, but you're not going to replace their father, So, anywho, that was a bit of a tangent, but that is something I always point out to my mom. I can definitely respect that about her and her singlehood. And she didn't play that. Yeah. Period. Okay, so at that point, you felt like you had got motherhood down with 2 kids, like you was on a roll, like, let's go, Yeah. Well, that's good. And then, at 29 years of age, Paris was about 9, I was about 7, you were diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. Right. And so, how did that change you as an individual, but also as a mother? Well, the individual part changed instantly. I had to be a mother still, no matter what. But you still had to show up for your kids? I still had to show up. You still had to get up every day? I still had to get up every day. You still had to go to work? I got up and went to work every day. Get us off to school? Yes. Do all the things. In pain every day. In pain. And it was new for me because I didn't know what was happening to my body. I was like, why is this happening? And it was just a new thing, and I thought I was going to have to leave my job. When I did try to leave, say I wasn't going to get up and do this anymore, they gave me a position in the office because I was a warehouse worker. Mm-hmm. They gave me a position in the office to help me stay there, because they enjoyed my work, not so much, but they enjoyed the work, so they offered me a position, and so I stayed there a little longer. I had my own office, and I was comfortable, so that let me stay there a little bit longer, but then just one day, I just couldn't do it anymore, even in the office. My daughter I called her and just told her she had to come get me. I couldn't even get up and go to the bathroom. Something was happening, and I didn't know what was happening. But I ended up having to have 2 knee replacements and a left hip replacement. So I am like the bionic woman. Yes. So but I thank God that He steered me that way because I got into a 3-year depression when I first was diagnosed. Like, I would just go to work and come home and lay on the couch and cry. So
I think that really made it worse, of course. But yeah, I just couldn't believe it because I was such a active person, and I like to go, and I was fit, but
yeah, we used to. My mom is a huge tennis buff.
I love tennis.
She still watches it all day, every day. The tennis channel is currently on her TV as we record it. Like, I don't understand. But anywho, when we were kids, we used to go to the park and play tennis to the tennis courts, play tennis all the time. We would go skating all the time. We would do all. She was super active and like fit and all of the things. I mean, she's a baddie.
And when that happens to somebody that's super fit at a young age, it's like it messes with your psyche.
For sure.
So I like went into a whole mental like I don't care. I just wanted to give up, but God said no, and I'm still here today. Thank you, Jesus.
Listen, I mean, initially at that time, you weren't in church.
And I wasn't.
And you didn't have a relationship.
I didn't have a relationship with God. No, I didn't.
So that took some time to get to that point.
Right.
Like you said, you were depressed. And, you know, I don't think I recall you being depressed, but also I was fairly young.
Yeah. Was. You were at your dad's house the majority?
That was high school, though.
Well,
when did you have your first knee replacement?
In 2005.
Yeah, that was the year before I graduated out of high school.
Okay, you graduated in 2006. But I was still diagnosed early, and I was more functional than before I got to the knee replacement.
Yeah, because I think because you didn't start working until 2008.
Right.
I was out of high school,
so I worked at that job until 2008. Because when I had a hip replacement in 2011, you got me another job.
Right.
When I started back working again, but it was different work. But I was so
and it wasn't full time. That was part time.
I thought I'd never work again.
Right.
Yeah. And I was actually helping disabled people. I was like, that was such a gratifying
full circle moment.
That was nothing but God. Nothing but God can do something like that.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be doing that type of work, helping somebody else that I'm supposed to be disabled, but they are less, more disabled than I was. They was confined to wheelchairs and stuff like that. And I had to feed them.
Nonverbal.
And I used to sing to them. Right. I used to sing to them and just wipe their tears. And I just like, God, I know this is you. It's humbling. He humbled me. And that was so gratifying. I'm so grateful that God took me down that path.
Yeah.
So it was, things happen. We don't know, but when they happen, when you look back, you're like, God, that was you.
Yeah, it wasn't nobody but him showing you. I still got you.
Right.
You still
and he still got me. Look, I'm even, and I don't even seem disabled now, but I'm more mobile now than I ever was when I,
But I think it was a mentality at the time.
It was me.
Like to get that diagnosis
exactly.
and to feel the way that you was feeling, it was more in your mind.
Right, it was. And I let that control me.
And you let it all control you. So any little pain, any little thing, you already in your mind, like, I'm going to be disabled. I can't do this. I can't do that.
Right.
Going down that road, and that just, it wasn't necessary. And God brought you back after 3 surgeries.
Yes.
And to come to that point to be able to service someone else who that's been born into a position of having to depend and lean on other people to take care of them.
Right.
That's like, what? Like, God, what?
Nothing but a miracle. That's all I can say.
So, I mean, listen, it's a reason for everything.
Everything.
He allows it for a reason.
Yes.
But yeah, so as a mother, you don't think how much changed for you after the diagnosis. Like you said, you were less active and things like that. But do you feel like did you take out any frustrations with your situation on your kids?
Definitely, most definitely. I didn't want to talk. Y'all were asking questions, and I didn't want to say, go sit down, get out of my face. I don't, all this craziness that I look back on now and be like, that was horrible. Because y'all didn't understand what was going on.
Right.
It was just that I was just in a funk. I just didn't care. I just was like, and then, you know, my sister and my mom, they tried to, you know, get a hold of that part. Like they did. They was like, you know, they don't understand. I just didn't care. I was angry. I was angry at God. I was angry at everybody because my life had literally been cut short.
That's how you felt.
That's how I felt. It had been cut short because I'm still living.
Right.
But I felt like my life, the life that I was leading, the path that I was going down. But see, God stopped all that because He knew that it wasn't a good path. So, you know, I'm telling you, God saved my life. Literally saved my life. And I'm still kicking here today and doing great.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes, thank you, Lord.
So, in the midst of that, you know, obviously at this time, 29, you in your 30s, in your 40s, we're teenagers now. We're growing up. Life is still moving on along, you know. How was it for you navigating us going from your little precious little babies to teenagers? How did you manage that? Do you think it was a good management, or?
I thought at the time that I was doing everything right. I thought I was the best mother in the world, you know, that whatever I say is right, whatever I do is right when it comes to y'all, even with my friends, you know. But it wasn't. I wasn't doing everything right. I was making big mistakes and didn't realize it. Until now, I see it affects you guys in a certain way. Because when you told me recently that I traumatized you by always hollering, when you come to me and want to ask me a question, get out of my face. You know, why couldn't you just answer? I don't understand. I just don't understand. And I remember it so well. Like, just cursing cursing y'all out for no reason. Just, you know, trying to help my son learn how to drive. Cursed him out. He didn't even do nothing wrong. Just cursed him out for no reason. That was all craziness. Like, it was just, I don't know. I was going through a thing. I wouldn't say a metamorphosis, but I was going through a thing when trying to navigate y'all into teenagers because I was still, as I got older, the illness got worse.
Right.
So, you know,
you're trying to manage your health. You're trying to manage being a mother. You're trying to manage working, providing, doing all the things.
Exactly.
It's a lot on your plate at that time.
I mean, I went to work with stuff swollen and couldn't even hardly walk and just trying to work to provide for my kids because that's what I was used to doing. And then just transforming from when you get an illness, all the boyfriends I had, all of them started disappearing. I mean, I was a player. But when all that started disappearing, when you start limping and your stuff swelled up, people ain't hollering at you like they used to. That was a wake up call. That that hurt my heart. Like
what they used to call you when you was drunk, bad mama jamma.
Bad mama jamma.
She had a coke bottle body. She was a pom-pom girl, all the men,
the prettiest
all the
legs,
boys, everybody wanted it.
The long hair,
all the things.
I thought I was the ish, but
and she acted like it. That made it worse. And this
I was
this
very
a lesson.
conceited. Yeah,
God will humble you.
Humbled me.
He will humble you.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
She know her stuff is safe.
I did.
Not with just her little boyfriend, her friends,
everybody. Like,
nobody could tell her anything. Nobody. But God did.
Thank you, Jesus, because I learned the hard way.
Listen.
You cannot go through life thinking you gonna treat people any kind of way and you're gonna keep doing what you're doing. God stopped it all. And He humbled me, and I'm so grateful for that. I really am, because now I know better,
Yeah.
But now I'm all alone. I had all them boyfriends and I end up alone. That's crazy.
She's available.
No.
Don't listen to her. She's available.
No. No, I'm not.
Okay.
But anyway, I had to navigate into y'all transforming into teenagers
because it became increasingly more difficult.
More difficult.
Because now
I'm putting pressure on y'all.
Well, that's and also we are understanding more about the world, right? Because kids grow up, and so you being so strict, quote unquote, as you said, and having such control over us when we were much smaller. As we're growing older, that control is becoming less and less.
Right.
And so that's a hard pill to swallow as a parent. Like,
because now it's switched. Now y'all controlling me. I'm like, wait a minute. God, you didn't say you was going to get this punishment. And I couldn't deal with that. I was like, y'all think y'all can just push me over because I can't do for like I used to do. Because I used to throw shots all the time.
When she say shots, she means she used to punch in the chest,
in the jaw,
and smack in the face.
But, you know, God, I don't know. It was just hard for me. But y'all did switch, and then y'all had to start. I put more pressure on you because Paris did go off to college.
Yeah, Paris graduated in 2003, and I still had a few years of school left. And your situation was getting worse. You were going to the doctor more and more to get injections and fluid taken off your knee, and it became bone on bone at that point in your knees. So it was just a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
It was. But you stayed home and you went to community college.
Yeah.
And you didn't go away to college because of me. And I feel guilty about that to this day. I know you wanted to do it, but it was hard. Because you had to do everything for me back then.
Yeah.
But God delivered me
from
all of
that.
Your
bedside. Yeah.
Like you had to bathe
really
me.
Bad. Yeah.
Remember I got stuck in the tub? You tried to give me a Mother's Day spa day or something. We couldn't get out that doggone tub for 2 hours. I couldn't get out of it.
Remember the time we went to the mall? In the escalator.
Oh Lord,
she can't make her feet move quick enough
for the escalator.
So she put one foot on, and the other foot was supposed to follow. It was not funny at the time.
I was split.
Her foot couldn't catch the step quick enough, so it caught another step. So she was doing a split going down the escalator. I'm trying to hold her up. I'm yelling and screaming with bags in her hand, asking, "Help! Help! Somebody help us!" Thank God that she did not fall at the end of that escalator.
I was crying. That was so crazy because it happened so fast.
It happened so fast. We've had
some stuff. I mean,
Porsha
was there with all of that, and she was a lot of pressure on her because she was young.
Yeah,
and she
18.
She wanted to go away to college and experience that, and I just couldn't be by myself and. You know, it was just a lot. My sister was married. I just leaned on Porsha a lot. I think your dad, did he ask you to stay home or? Oh, he didn't? Okay.
That was my decision.
Oh, it was your decision?
It was my decision.
Okay. Yeah. It was a lot on her, and I took a lot. I don't think you ever resented me for it, but it was just a lot. I put a lot on you. Before you even would go out, you had to do certain things for me. Cook my meals, do all that, because I couldn't do none of that at the time. Now I can do all that.
Yeah.
You know that ain't nobody but God.
Nobody but Jesus.
God, please.
Period.
Please, God is awesome.
Yes, he is.
So I'm grateful for the journey he took me through, because I believe if he wouldn't have took me that way, I would probably not be here today. And I'm not talking about because of the illness. I'm talking about because of the path I was going down. I'm not talking about drugs. I did no drugs and I did drink. But the path I was going down with men, different men in my life, just... You know, I didn't have relationships. I just, slept with different men. That's what I did on my own. But God stopped all that. Just stopped it all.
Now she's been celibate for 20 years.
Yeah, I know. And people be laughing at that. That ain't funny. God know what he doing. I'm good. You a mess.
Listen.
Be like, girl, how you do it? God, I can't do that on my own.
God
that's
did.
Me. That's God. I can't do nothing like that on my own. But I don't even worry about that. I just really, I just like companionship. I ain't thinking about nothing else, child.
She's available for her.
Yeah, I am, but I want to look at a movie with somebody.
She wants somebody to rub on the bones, baby.
Navigating to teenage years was a little difficult. So how do you think it was navigating into our adulthood?
I couldn't let go. I had a hard time letting go when I moved to River Grove and you were with me and you didn't have no husband, no kids or nothing. And then when you decided to move out, that was the hardest thing for me. And I was even getting more mobile then, but I just did not want you to go. I just was so hurt. I would cry every day. I know. Every day, because I was so used to you being there. Then Paris would come back from college and be like, "Mom, you gotta stop, being like that, depending on what you better now." I'm like, I know, but I'm just used to her being here and
super codependent.
Yes, so I had to get over that, and God helped me with that too. He helped me get over that, and now I can live by myself without you being here. But I still call you every day.
Let's be clear. She does not call me because she wants to talk to me.
I do. I call her.
She calls me because of them kids, okay? Because she'd be like, "Hey, where my baby?" Ma'am, ain't no babies here.
Right. I do be calling her sometimes. And before I call you, I have to think about it. Be like, okay, let me say how she doing. And then, where my babies at? Where my babies at?
Nah, they don't want to talk to me right now.
Where my baby's at? So, yeah. But Porsha has been a constant in my life. And God told me I had to let her go. I had to let her live her own life. And then when she got married, and then, he embraced me just like she did. So, and I appreciate him because he was always there for me, always nice, always kind, and always respected me. And even when we had a little mishap, he like, "Mom, we can't do this. We ain't doing this. I can't. That's too much tension." And I was like, "You are so right.
You're the grandmother of my children."
Right. He would let it be known. Look, we ain't finna do this.
You can't love them and not love
me,
or you can't be good with them and not be good with me.
And we have been okay ever since then.
Yeah.
Never had no problem again after he set that precedent. And I appreciate that because most men won't even do that. They'll just hold something against you.
Yeah.
They don't have to be nice if they with your daughter.
They don't have to like you. They don't have to like deal with you. Exactly. They don't have to do none of that.
Right. So I appreciated that. So, yeah. But, yeah, going into y'all adulthood, it was very hard for me because Paris was already away when he even got out of college. He moved on his own.
Yeah.
But, he didn't ever.
He came back. He came back for a little while.
He did come back in Broadview. Yeah, for a little while. But then he was still just on his way to getting his apartment.
But still, how was that dealing, like having a relationship with him? Even he's not in your home, but you still had to communicate with him. You still, you know what I'm saying? Like, how was it dealing with now this is grown man Paris?
It was good because he would come and get me. Or you would take me over there. We would always be with each other in some part of the weekend or something. Well, it was nice. I enjoyed that time because y'all like coveted me, like y'all made sure I had everything was right with me. That I didn't have to be by myself or whatever like that. But when the time come for y'all to drop me back off at home, I would cry because I didn't want to do it, but y'all had your own lives. And God told me, you have to let them live their own lives. And then, he helped me with that because he said he'll never leave me nor forsake me. And that was the truth. He never left me. He was always there with me, always. I just had to be open to that. And when I opened myself to that and stopped hanging on to y'all all the time, it just flowed. It just flowed right. And I mean, we had ups and downs still, but I learned to live on my own, and I've been on my own ever since.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Lord. So what are your thoughts on Paris doesn't have any kids yet.
Right.
I have 2 beautiful girls, as you all know.
Right.
What are your thoughts on my parenting? The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Oh my. That's why I think I got most of my learning from. And not saying I was a bad parent. I'm still not saying that because I still think I did the best I could. But when I see her with her girls and how she do with them, I don't agree with everything, but some things how she do, I'm like, why wasn't like that with her in Paris? Why wasn't I like that? I mean, every time they ask her a question, she be like, she answers them, and she takes her time, be patient with them. I be looking at her and I be staring at her like, I used to be like, get out my face.
Clearly that was her favorite thing to say.
I know. I'm like, that's horrible. But she is so patient with them. And, you know, I mean, she told me, even taught me how to not yell. Like, be yelling all the time. Be like, because that's all I did with her in Paris is yelled at them. So she's like, Mom, that traumatized me. So now I catch myself with them. You know, I raise my voice a little bit sometimes. You know, but I even catch myself sometimes when I yell and I be like, oh, I didn't have to say it. Or Leah tell me I didn't have to say it like that. But I be like, you don't tell me when to yell. But anyway, I understand what Porsha is doing. She's teaching them. It's a social skill. It's how you deal
Proper
with
communication.
people. Right. And it's like I didn't have that. That I didn't have with my kids. I didn't have proper communication with them. And I wish I could go back sometimes and change that, but I can't change it. It happened. But when I see her with her kids, it just makes me be like, man, she is a great mom. She is. And I learned a lot from how she is with her girls because, you know, I'm different with them. And now I'm trying to be different with her. Like, I don't yell. Like, when I yell, she be like, Mom, you don't have to yell. You know, you could just say it there. I'm like, you right. So, you know, but yeah, I used to didn't be like that. I was just, in that way, I was horrible as a mom. Always yelling at my kids. Everything. Like, and when she told me that as she's an adult now, I'm like, that traumatized you. I'm like, that made me feel bad. Because I remember it so well. I remember yelling all the time.
But you weren't just yelling at us.
I yell at everybody, but
that was just who she was. She yelled at everybody.
You're right, but still, I just remember specific times.
I know. I'm just saying, it wasn't like you were trying to. I don't think I only can speak for me. I don't think I ever took it like my mom is trying to make me feel bad or trying to be mean to me. I just looked at it like, this is my mother. And this is how she talks with everybody. And that's a learned behavior that I took from her.
But you changed it.
I have, but that took work. It still showed up in some relationships.
And it showed up in Paris also.
Oh, yeah. We both took that from you for sure, thinking that we have to yell and scream
to get
in order
our
to
point
communicate
across,
and
right.
get your point across. But I also feel like we're taking steps and we are learning that that's not necessarily true.
Right.
And you don't have to communicate that way. And the biggest news flash for me was within my marriage, being with somebody that didn't communicate that way.
Right.
And it was so foreign to them. And even with my kids, I didn't want them to feel the way that I felt with that as well. So it takes a lot of time and unlearning, and I still struggle with it from here and there, but I am acquiring new skills on how to communicate, how to express myself without being overly emotional.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
And I think that was just a lack of you knowing how to self-regulate.
Right.
Also, she was super big-headed.
Yeah.
What you say earlier? Conceited. Super, like, in that, I've never been that way.
No.
I aspired to be that way when I was younger. Like, oh, my mom commands a room. Everybody listens to her. She's very authoritative. Like, she didn't play no games. She didn't care who you was, man, woman, grandma, brother, sister. Nope, she gonna give you what you got. And I kind of took on that persona.
Yeah.
A little bit, but I was way less aggressive than my mother.
Yeah.
And I feel like Paris took on that persona too. Like Paris is very
Paris
much
looks nothing like me. But Lord Jesus, if I don't be looking in the mirror sometimes,
yeah.
I mean, he's come a long way.
He's come a long way for sure. But in
the past, I used to be like,
years, for sure.
When I was changing, I'm like, why is he this way? Because of me. Like, I'm like, it was like literally looking in the mirror. He looks nothing like me.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. But, you live and you learn. And,
you do.
Yeah, I try to. No, I don't try. I do really do my best at giving my kids some space. And I don't even look at you like you were super strict. I think when we were younger, and I hear the stories of people, and I remember sometimes like we'll be sitting there, we're dressed perfectly, and we'll be sitting and not moving until my mama say move.
Right.
Like, we were definitely afraid of her,
right,
for sure.
Yeah, because people used to say that all the time. Oh, I wish my kids was like your kids. They afraid of you. I'm like, they better be.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's cute. That wasn't cute.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
It's
your kids should not be afraid of you.
Right. It's a difference between
respect
respecting and reverencing your
right.
parent
right.
and him being afraid of him. It's the same thing dynamic with God.
Right.
Like, God doesn't want us to be afraid of him.
He wants us to reverence him. Right.
Exactly. And honor him.
Exactly.
And different things like that. But he does that through love.
Right.
And that's the same way we're supposed to operate in our figures of being a parent, being the parental
right.
of the child. And so I try up, and what I was saying was, I don't think you were super strict, because I remember coming to you. You worked for a book company for over 20 years.
Yeah.
That was her job, and she used to get us all the books and all the things we would want before it even hit the ship. Maybe I should say it. But
well, they did. I didn't take them. They gave them to us.
Oh, okay.
And then we had a discount too if we wanted to buy. We got first.
You can
choice.
buy them in the warehouse.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
We
She
had
did have a
choice.
friend that wasn't. Anyway.
Well, he was not doing right. Anyway, I wasn't doing that.
Right.
Mm-mm.
So anyway, she would get us books and stuff, like when the Harry Potter books have to come out, like she'll do all of that. Goosebumps, everything we wanted as far as the books. And I feel like even, so anyway, I said all that to say, you got me this period book or whatever, and I was in middle school, and I actually have a picture of me holding the book. It was like different color, multicolor, leopard print, all this type of stuff. Had little pockets, and I could write notes and put them in the pockets inside the book. It was really interactive and all of that, whatever. And I remember coming to you when I took sex ed in high school, sophomore year. Now, mind y'all, again, I was raised in the good girl era. My mother wasn't in church until I was 16, thereabout. 15 or 16, she joined church. She finally got saved by Jesus, okay? But before that, my mama was not saved. She would be out here cussing people out and ready to fight. Anywho,
a mess. A mess.
But when I would come to her, I never felt like I couldn't talk to you.
Right.
As in, if I had questions about something serious, you will sit and talk with me. It was more so when you would do the get out my face, like we just being annoying kids, want to be all up under you and all the type of stuff, whatever. But if I wanted to actually have a conversation with you, ask you some questions, when my period came on, you would talk to me, like all of that type of stuff for sure. And you were, I don't think you were super strict as we were growing up. You let me go to my friends' house.
But yeah, I did. But y'all were good kids, though.
Right, and that's another part of it.
That's another part of it.
Yeah.
Y'all wasn't out there trying to be. Parents stayed in his room all the time playing the game.
Playing video
Y'all wasn't
games.
trying to be out there in the street. Well, you was still in my car. I found out at a
First of all, I was grown.
You were grown, but still, you was still in my car. And I didn't know it, but
after I got my life, this was during the time that she was
basically bedridden.
Yeah, and she'll be like, "Nobody drive my car." Girl, you ain't driving me. Let me drive the car. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna wait till she goes to sleep and then take the car.
You a mess.
And I I'll be back before she knows it.
Lord Jesus.
I had a curfew in her house until the whole time I was in your house, and I left her house like when I was 23. How you gonna give me a curfew anyway?
Because it's my house.
It's her house. You right about it. That's why I got on up out of there.
That's what
okay?
you do. That's what you do. That's what you do when you don't want to,
abide by the rules. Period. But no, I felt like I could talk to you. I took sex ed, and I came to you and was like, telling you, Mommy, this is what I learned, like about chlamydia and all of this type of stuff. And she was like, she did question me, like, what? You trying to have sex or something? And I said, no, ew, no. Like, I definitely was not about that life, but I was very intrigued by the body and stuff. And I told her that at the time, like, I just find this to be fascinating. Like, all this stuff can happen from sex. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
right.
And I was just really into medical stuff, science, all that type of stuff. So anyway, I don't look back on those times and be like, you were super straight. She used to let me walk to my friend's house, take the public transportation, do all types of stuff. Like, she had her rules set in place of what we could and could not do.
Right.
Like, she banned us from watching South Park when we were kids.
I did.
We didn't understand that. When
and
she would be cussing like a sailor in the house with us,
and they
but don't want us to watch it on the television program.
But they were still watching it, though. Sneaky to watching it.
I mean, that's what kids do. But yeah, no. It was so I didn't look at you as like my mom will let me do nothing.
No, she didn't. I wasn't that type of strict, but
no. But you, that's why I said you knew at some point that my kids are good kids. I don't have to be on them like that. They ain't out here trying to be in the streets. Right. They ain't out here doing drugs. They ain't out here drinking. They ain't out here misbehaving, or they don't know how to act when they go places. We were well behaved and good. Always got good reports, even from my friends' moms and stuff. Like they had no problem with me coming over because I wasn't a burden or nothing like that. So yeah, I aspire to raise my kids as the same way, and they love them some honey. Do you think that you are correcting some of your behaviors that you have with me and Paris and Leah and Micah?
Most definitely. God gave me a second chance with that. With not saying I do everything right still, but I have a second chance, and it's lovely, and I'm so grateful for Leah and Micah. Those are my babies.
Do you feel like they're another codependent relationship?
You mean codependent on them?
Yeah.
No, I don't feel like that.
Okay.
I don't feel like that because I'm more. You talking about with the physical?
No, just overall.
Just overall, no.
Emotionally, like, is it a safety for you? Because my mama, first of all, I am blessed. Okay. But my mama gets mad if I don't bring these kids to see her every weekend. I mean, every weekend. Because and if we have to cut their visit short, when I say the weekend, they literally come over Friday night, Saturday night, and they come back home on Sunday. So they spend 2 nights with her.
Yes.
If they have to spend 1 night, she got an attitude.
And I prepare for them to spend a night. Right?
This is why she need a man. But also, because she gets
I be excited.
I mean, she be so excited.
And my friends talk about me. Oh, you get ready for Leah and Micah. Okay, we'll call you back. I got to get the snacks, and I got to clean this up, and I got to wash this. And they be like, you act like you
still complain the whole time. Micah act like I'm a short order cook. She want bacon, she want sausage, she want pancakes, she want waffles, she want everything. And she sit right there.
But I love it. I love it. I do literally love it. I love it.
It's the complaining and loving it part for me. Anywho, but yeah, I'm super grateful that I've had excellent displays of motherhood, for sure. So, going into the last question, which is the comparisons between you and I. Do you see any similarities between me and you and our motherhood, our parenting skills?
I do. I just think, and this is not a dig to anybody, but I think basically did it better than me starting off. I think you did it best because, like I said, when I look at you, I be like, and I be telling people all the time, like, I wished I would have started with you guys, like at that age, how you starting with them. You know, but yeah, it's just, you learn some things. You learn.
What are some things that we did similarly, though, that you feel like I took from you, or you when you see me interact with them, you like, oh, that's a part of you. Anything?
Just making sure, always making sure they okay. They have everything they need, and before you go do your thug easy. I'm trying to be hip. But yeah, you always make sure, and you always check back on. I used to do that with y'all, with Mom had y'all. I used to do that all the time. I was right out at the club. I would call Mom on the payphone, not a cell phone.
Yes, Mom.
And be like, Mom, or if I'm at Daphne's house before we go, how are the kids or whatever? Like, they fine, go on and have a good time. That's how she would be. And I be like, that's similar with me and you. I be liking you to go have a good time. Like, when I have them, I want you to have a good time. I want you to do self-care. I don't want you to be stressed out, because I try to take that away from you. Not saying that they stress you out, but when you're trying to do so many things and juggle now being a single mom, it's a difference, So I just try to, I be like, yeah, just go, I be praying for you when you out there, because it's a different time, of course. So, but yeah, I think we have similarities like that when we making sure our kids are. I always made sure y'all was okay. And whether you were with Mom or you were with Auntie San, I made sure y'all was okay. Always.
Yeah.
And I never stayed away from y'all. Like a night, stay out. I never did that. I never did those things. When y'all wake up, I was there. But I did my mess when y'all was asleep, or when I thought y'all was asleep half the time or whatever like that. But, so most of the time I would take my dates out. This one guy I actually, I don't even say dated, but just messing around with, sleeping around with, he actually thought I didn't have no kids because he didn't never see y'all. Because that's how I wanted it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want y'all to be privy to that mess, because that was a mess. So, yeah, I'm just, I don't know. It's just... I think you are a great mom, and I always tell you that. And yeah, I don't know.
I think you're a great mom too, Mom. It's been a lot on our journey. I can definitely name a lot of missteps from firsthand experience, but also there's a lot of grace given, because we have to factor in everything that you experienced. You became a mom at a young age. You were still essentially a kid.
Well, I was still an adult.
Legally, you were an adult, but you still were a kid.
Right.
And just trying to figure out life, and then to get hit with a diagnosis like
at
that
a young age,
at such a young age, before you were even 30.
It's crazy.
And to deal with all of that mentally and emotionally, and that you were the first one in our family to experience rheumatoid arthritis that we know of.
Yeah.
And so nobody really knew how to navigate it. Nobody really knew how to fully support you or get you the help that you needed, or whatever, the resources or whatever.
Right.
And like you said, you spent the first couple of years just kind of
let that be, and just
mad. Who knows if you would have gotten the help that you needed or whatever beforehand, and you could have saved yourself a lot of time, a lot of it progressing to the point that it did or whatever. But we can live in the past and the woulda, shoulda, couldas, but also God allows things to happen for a reason. And He will get you where He needs to have you, one way or another.
And that's why I think He did it, because I was mad and angry because I couldn't do what I used to do. And see, He was trying to stop that. Well,
right,
he wasn't
because
trying. He did
you
stop.
were way more valuable than just giving yourself
Right,
to people,
exactly.
giving people access to you,
my
your
body, and
for what?
it was
like,
toxic, and
it was super toxic.
And he stopped it, and I didn't understand it at the time, but now I understand.
Mm-hmm.
He literally saved my life.
Yeah.
Because I was bogus, so we ain't gonna go there. But I was real bogus, so. But it's just the truth, and I'm not ashamed of my past, but it got me to where I am today. Because I literally was just, I just used to do people bad, just even people that were good to me, men that were good to me. My first love, he was good to me. I was bad to him, and I regret that. I could have been married to this day, probably to him, and y'all could have been his kids.
Okay.
Yeah, but
hi, Dad.
hey, BD. BD, But anyway.
But no, I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, you could have had a whole nother life.
I could have had another life,
but
and
that's why we have to be careful with pride and allowing other people to define you or tell you what you are or whatever. And I feel like a lot of that fed your ego and all that type of stuff.
Because I had a big ego for a long time.
Yeah.
People built me up like that.
Yeah.
And like I was the stuff, and I really
believe that.
I did. I went with that, and I thought I was stuff, but when God knocked me down, He allowed me to get knocked down
to build you back
up. Baby, let me tell you.
I mean, you got to your lowest point.
I did.
And then He built you right back up,
He
and
did.
you were better than what you were.
Come on.
Now she can wash her own dishes.
Girl.
She can cook her own food. She can take out her trash.
I do everything,
She can
child.
do all the things. She can bathe herself.
Bathe myself. All
She
those
don't
things
need
were cut
no
short
help.
from me, and that was something.
I think another thing that we have in common, the love and affection for our children. Like, obviously, like you already said, like, I will make sure, I will be, super on top of that or whatever. I feel like I learned from you to be affectionate with my kids. I feel like you were that way with me. And to be, like, just showing love. What are you doing? Oh, God.
Yeah.
What? Okay, let's wrap this up. Bria, just cut that last part. Okay.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah. All right. I think that was good. Yeah, we're going to cut that last part. I just said, and we're just going to go straight.
No, but you can say it again. I'm good. You, how we, were affectionate.
I don't know if that's fully true.
I did it differently. Because I don't think I did it enough. You knew I loved you. You knew I showed you love. But how you show them love now, I wished I would have been more of that way, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's
I think what we have in common is the taking care of your kids to that level. Like, my mom wasn't a cook, but she made sure we always had food in the house to eat. Like, it wasn't
quick fixes.
Right. It was hot dogs, make a sandwich, you got chips, you got juice, you can make some spaghetti. Like, it was different things like that, whatever. But she always made sure we had.
Right.
We never went without.
Never.
It's only one point of my life I felt like we went without, and that was when Paris was in college and I was in high school, and you were struggling to help him pay for his tuition, and you told me, like, this school year I'm not gonna be able to buy you brand new shoes when you go to school or whatever.
But his tuition, only reason why I had to pay is because his GPA went down. And once his GPA, the scholarship he was on, his GPA had to stay a certain in order for him to get the money. So it was just that one time.
Right. It was a one time, right. But I'm just saying, like, she always did above and beyond to take care of us. and I have that same level of by any means necessary.
Right.
I'm gonna take care of my kids. And again, I'm grateful for my village because without them, I would have not have made it this far.
Right.
But I definitely have that same type of drive. Like, I'm gonna make sure my kids got the basics,
right,
the bare minimum, at minimum or whatever. But I go above and beyond for them. I would go without. My mom was the same way. She would go without for us,
right.
And even if we didn't know, she didn't have to announce that to us or be like, I ain't got no money. I can't do this and that for you. But and I'm the same way with my kids. I don't have to tell them I don't have it. I can't do this. Right. It's just I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get it done, and we gonna be good.
Right.
Period. So we have that in common.
Right.
I feel like I took that from you for sure. Like no matter what, I'm a mother and I have to show up for my kids.
Right.
Period. I don't have no excuse. And even though you went through all that you went through, that's still the main takeaway that no matter what, I have to be here for my children.
Right.
So,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How are we different?
You want to go there?
I don't know. I just want to see what you was going to say.
Woo!
How are we different?
You already said our approach to communicate is different for sure. Our affection, like I'm overly affectionate with my kids, but that speaks more to my inner child of me
not having
wanting to be loved on like that. So now I overly do it with my kids. Right. I'm always loving on them, kissing them, hugging them.
By both of us.
Right. Kissing them, loving them, telling them I love them, hugging them, reassuring them that I'm here for them no matter what. Another thing I feel like we differ in is just like motivating them as well. I don't really feel like you or my dad really was like, I mean, my dad was, y'all would say, I want you to do your best. I want you to be your best. But it was never no level, no aspire to be here. It was never, it was just like, if I brought C's and B's home, it's like, okay, good, that's fine. As long as I bring no D's and F's.
Do better next time.
Right. It was never no, and I'm not like strict about, but I do take, and it's no dig at y'all, but I do take my kids' education very seriously.
Yeah. Very seriously.
I'm very into them. I'm very active at the school, always trying to do stuff and be involved because I want them to know that their education is important to me. And so if I show them that it's important to me, then they would feel that it's important for them to do their best and to be their best.
Right.
So that's another area. And even with their gifts and talents, like I know I've been saying it for a while, like I want to get them in piano lessons. I want to get them in gymnastics. I want them to play a sport. Those are things I feel like y'all didn't really do with me.
We didn't. And somebody said that to me one time. I ain't gonna name no names, but she said that if that was my daughter, she'll be in all type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I was gorgeous. And
yeah, you're still gorgeous.
Very talented.
You're still gorgeous.
Thank you, Mom.
But, you know, they said that to me, and I'm thinking I'm doing, as you say, all the things.
Right.
And I wasn't, you know, because I was a working mom.
Yeah.
I was a single mom, and I was working night. Night shift took a lot away from me doing
sleep,
those things.
I had to rest,
every day. So, yeah, my mom was taking y'all to school, and, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was a difference, not trying to use it as an excuse, but I probably could have did those things, but I wouldn't be. I was there for you when you were in high school for track.
Yes.
Me and your dad would come.
Yeah.
You know, we were there for that, but
yeah. But that was something that I kind of pushed myself to do. Even when we joined the gospel choir, it wasn't never like y'all.
Right.
It was like, oh, you should do this.
And
you try to do that.
You're exactly right.
You know, you knew I could sing. You never tried to put me in lessons
or. You're exactly right. And I'm sitting up here looking at him, what he's not doing, and I'm thinking I'm doing everything, but I really wasn't.
And that's okay.
It's okay. It's
okay because, I mean, we're all going to have blind spots, right? And I feel like now, I was just telling my therapist this the other day, I feel like in discovering my worthiness and seeking validation from other people. I feel like I be trying to implement that in my kids. Like, whatever you want to do, just do it. Like, I want them to do whatever it is they want to do. So I compensate in those areas because I want my kids to look back and be like, my mommy did all the stuff for us. Right. But in me doing that, I'm also going to miss the mark in some areas. Yeah. Because I'm trying to don't touch that. I'm trying to overcompensate for anything that I may have lacked and try to cover the areas of all the possible things. But that's not necessarily going to hit the mark for them. Right. That doesn't mean that they're not going to have issues. They could grow up and have issues that, Mommy, at some point you started leaving us at Honey House every weekend and we wanted to just be with you. Right. And not understanding, Mommy's doing this because she's trying to get extra money, work harder, or she needs to take a break and get herself together mentally so that she is able to take better care of us. Like, kids don't understand it in the moment at the age that they're at. Right. But they can grow up and feel some type of way about that. Right. Why were we at Honey's house every weekend? You know? But I'm thinking, I'm thinking I'm doing the best that I can do at this time, and I'm doing what's best. I'm giving them, they can have this time with me, they have this time with Honey, they, whatever. But I don't know how this is going to affect them in the long term. Right. So, it doesn't matter. I know my intent behind it, and I can always say that about you too. Like, your intent behind it all was to create a better space for us than what you had. Exactly. And my grandmother, who was supposed to be on this episode, yes, but wasn't able to record tonight. But my grandmother, I'm sure she felt the same way about you and your siblings. She did. And she was an amazing mom. She was. An amazing mom. And still is. Thank God. I just wonder how my mom came from her mom. You a mess. Because my grandmother was not boastful and flamboyant and outgoing. I mean, not outgoing, but like my mom was. She was not like that. And my grandma would just look at her sometimes like, it won't say much. Or did she? She did ask me one time, where did you get this mean? Because, I used to be really mean to people. So where did you get this mean streak? Because I'm not like that. We're not that. Where did you get, she said, I wonder, where did you get this from? I'm like, I don't know. But I'm not that way now. Right. That's the important thing. I'm not that way now. Right. Growth. Yes, we all go through growing pains, okay? And life be out here lifing us. So, tis is where we at. Right. So, that was great, Mom. Thank you so much. We're going to go into another segment, which is the healing sources, okay? Yes. And this is where I just give you guys the resources again for some things that may help you. I have merch available, okay? On Etsy, and it's also on my website, anchoredinllc.com. You can find my shirts and my mugs that I created for you all to be able to use. When you get dressed nice and you want to put on something, sometimes we get these graphic tees and different things like that. It makes us feel a type of way. You can get you a Life Be Lifin' shirt, okay? Because life do be out here lifing. So every time you wear that shirt, you remind yourself to give yourself some grace. Okay? Like, every time you drink out your coffee, remind yourself, it's okay. Please, 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 please go to Etsy at Life Be Lifin', and also, or my website, anchoredinllc.com, to purchase your Red Collection merch of Life Be Lifin' podcast. We will really appreciate it. Yes, my mom got hers. So yes, we are really excited about this drop. Also, as always, shout out to Shop Lene. Yes. Please, please, please look up Shop Lene. The website is in the description box. So is all the other stuff I have said. www.shoplene.com. And here's Shop Lene. Thank you so much, Shop Lene. Y'all, please go check her stuff out. They are healing resources. The body butters, the body wash, the lip balm, the body scrubs. Get that skin. You get this outer shell together while you're getting that inner shell, working on all that stuff. Come on, y'all. We got to take care of ourselves. So utilize these healing resources, okay? All right. And for our final segment, we have come to the end of this Mother's Day episode. And this is the segment, Speak Life. And this is the segment where I leave you with a call to action for yourself, but not just for you, but for me as well. So I'll leave you with these words to hold on to until next time. Today's Speak Life affirmation is, hard times make me appreciate the good in life, and I have a lot to be thankful for. Again, today's Speak Life affirmation is, you want to say it with me? Hard times make me appreciate the good in life, and I have a lot to be thankful for. You heard it. You say it. You write it down, and you remind yourself to speak that thing and make it happen, because
life be life in us all. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Mom. Appreciate you. Thank you for being on the episode.
Of course.
As y'all can see, we are twins.
I love it.
We are thankful to be here. I appreciate you sharing your story and being vulnerable and open.
Thank you for having me.
And you will continue to grow and prosper in Jesus' name. I love you all. I hope that something was said here tonight that pricked your heart and made you feel good, or made you realize or want to review or examine your own stuff in your own situations or whatever. Thank y'all for all the support. I love you all. May the Lord continue to bless you all and keep you in His perfect peace, health, and wealth.
Bye.